What's up, guys? So I've gotten a lot of questions about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu books and how to use them. And so the book in particular that I got asked about was this one, Jitsu University. And so you'll have to mind my messy office. And you know, the person was asking kind of how to go about using the particular book. And the one thing that I'll start with before I kind of go through it with you is look at this book. The page is falling off, it's all ratty. If you guys use anything, if you buy any extra, jiu-jitsu books or any sort of books or DVD materials, make sure you actually use them. Don't let them just sit there on the shelf and just collect dust. Make sure you put them to some use, because again, this book, tattered pages. I've shown this one before. I beat the hell out of this one. This has got like, everything's like falling apart. There's post-it notes with notes about it, and really good stuff on Andre Gaval's book. But anyway, I actually bought this book when I was I believe, purple belt, and it was because I was trying to get some ideas for teaching classes and also sort of just augment the training that I was already taking part in. And so if you're looking through this, the first tip that I would do is find a problem, right? If you can find a problem, then you can try to look for solutions. So let's say, for instance, this book, by the way, is really, I think it's still in print. If you can get it, it's a great book, and it's categorized really well. So for instance, if we look in like the white belt section of the book, it's all about just surviving the position, good grips and body positioning. It moves into escapes from all the different basic positions, moves into basic controls and sweeps, and then so on to passing, and then to submissions back in the end. So let's say, for instance, we were like, okay, I'm getting killed from a mount position, right? Every time I get to mount, I just get slaughtered. So, okay, let's start by saying, okay, let's look at, all right, here's some basic things about nullifying the chokes from mount. Here's some basic things about basic survival regarding mount, right? So if you're using this book in particular, you would start here. And then after you do that, you would say, okay, well, now that I'm working on surviving the position, let's go to the escape section. And again, we can flip through right here and say, all right, let's look through an escape, right? And that's the kind of thing you would want to do. So that would be my first tip. Second tip would be to sort of, if you're, again, we're talking about this book in particular, but you can use this with anything, any book that you have. My second tip would be to sort of augment the training that you're already working on. So let's say, for instance, if your coach is working on guard passing, well, then let's go back here and find guard passing from the similar positions that they're working on, and then you can kind of get different angles, different ideas. Because again, with jiu-jitsu, there's no silver bullet. There is no one technique that's always going to work for everyone. There's always, several different ways to do the same thing. I've talked about this before, but you can go into a good gym, like let's say 10 black belts, right? You can ask 10 black belts the same jiu-jitsu related question, and you'll get 10 different answers, and they're all right? There is no like one thing that's always working. So it's always good to sort of bring in more information. And so we can look through this and say, okay, well, we're working on particular passes. Well, let's look through here and see what's going on. Okay, well, here's some different variations that I can use, or some different grips, and I can try to use those as well through training. Sometimes I'll get into this, like, I don't know what you call it, like sort of a complacent sort of spot. And what I'll do is I'll think about, I'll just look through books, or I'll watch DVDs and or even jiu-jitsu matches, and I'll try to see something where it makes me go, that looks cool, I want to do that. And then I'll move towards that. So for instance, again, you could literally just flip through the pages and just see like what looks cool to you, and then say, all right, well, here, this daily Hiva position looks really cool. I'm going to try to use this. And then when you go to the gym, you're going to try to focus on using this different stuff. Now, the one thing that I'll say about books, not all books are very good at like the pictures, because I know there was a book when I was a white belt that was terrible. It would go from like the picture one, they're like locked up, and then picture two would be them locked in a fully, locked armbar. It didn't really show you how to get there. But this book's pretty good about that. And obviously with all the videos that are out there, guys, you can take, there's tons of information to get. But if you're using this book, those would be the tips that I would share with you. Again, just, mainly sort of find a reason why. So start with maybe finding a place where you're having trouble. If you're not really having trouble, maybe sort of look at what your coach is already showing, and then look through and see what this maybe could add to that particular area. And then from there, you can sort of look through this thing for inspiration and sort of some tips. And no matter what, guys, again, just don't let the information go to waste, because again, the information in this book and DVDs, on these videos that I share, it's just information. It's up to you guys to actually execute that stuff. And so make sure, if you say like, man, this looks really cool, well, then go after it and really work on it. And sort of on a side note, I was talking to someone about a Jitsu Journal. One sec. Okay. And so this is my like little drilling journal here. And so what I would do personally if I was you guys, especially if you're newer, I did this a lot as like a purple belt during training situations, right? Like let's say, for instance, if I was, Let's see what it is. Let's find something in here. We'll go to the submissions because that's what everybody likes to focus on, submissions, right? All right, well, we have this Ezekiel choke from the back. Maybe that's something I want to add into my game. Well, then what I did in this journal is I would come in and I would date June 22nd, 2017. I'm dating myself here. And then I would say, okay, like, all right, so Ezekiel choke from back, I'd look at it, all right, so I want to hit I'm just going to put easy choke from back. And then I would set like a numbered goal, right? So I'd say, okay, I want to, use this particular choke. I'm going to try to hit this choke twice tonight, right? And then I would just put like X2, almost like, again, I always go back to weightlifting and stuff because I'm kind of meathead, right? So like it's like a set. So again, I want to hit two Ezekiel chokes tonight when I go to training, okay? And then what I would do is since that's the move I'm focused on, when I go roll, then I go, like during class, I'm going to go for this choke. And if I hit it, I can come back and be like, I hit the choke 2 times, 3 times, whatever. Now the cool part about this is, let's say if I come in and I hit 0 chokes. Well then, the next day I come in, I'm still working on the same goal for a bit. And then once I can hit it 2 times, I'll try to hit it 3 times or 4 times or whatever. And you can kind of do that periodically, and what that does is that helps bring in new stuff into your game and keeps you sort of accountable and focused on something rather than like looking through the book and saying, oh man, this is a really cool move. I should try that when I go to the gym. And then when you go to the gym, you don't do it, right? So that's just a small tip. I did a video earlier this morning talking about a journal, and so I wanted to share that with you guys and so you can see what it looks like. So again, I forgot the name of the person that posted, but he posted a question about this on my Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. He said he was hedging his bets, and so I wanted to make sure this video got done. So that's my answer, man. If you have the Jiu-Jitsu University, if you don't have it, you should get it. It's a great book. If you do have it, go ahead and use it in that fashion, and I'll talk to you guys next time.